It's that time of the night you've all been waiting for it. We are going to reveal our Season 4 All-Star teams for all five of our leagues. All-Star match this Saturday night, starting at 5:30 p.m. Eastern with the GM Showdown. I've got some friends in the booth. You just heard them in the last match. We got Bagels and Fishy. Bagels, how you doing?
I could be better after my matchup tonight, but I did get to see some honestly top tier novice gameplay in that last matchup despite the sweep.
Hey, there you go. And Fishy, how you doing over there?
I'm doing great, and I gotta agree with Bagels. That was a great novice matchup. I think we're getting started over here in that same conference.
Yeah, that we are. We're starting out in the novice league for this one. So just a reminder on exactly how the All-Star voting worked. You guys voted for all the All-Stars. Basically, the starters, there will be four All-Stars named tonight. The starters are going to be the top two fan voted from you guys. And then the third is a management selected All-Star. And then the fourth will be a reserve who may sub in if necessary during the All-Star game. So just so you guys are aware, that'll be the letters. We have fan vote one, fan vote two, management selection, and then our reserve. So should be interesting. Let's just get right into it and start with the novice league Western All Star team. So coming out first on the fan vote with 47 votes, also known as 45.2%, is Nemesis RL from the Pawns. He's the first one there.
Yeah, we just saw him on stream. He did change his name to Bruh Pineapple, but the player remains the same, and he was the guy that was the glue sticking everybody on that Pawns roster together, trying to get them involved, and kind of a mechanical guru of novice league.
Definitely a solid player there. So congrats to him. And then coming in at the second one here, the second fan vote is going to be Cowtarded from Diffusion with 39 votes, otherwise known as 37.5%. So big congrats to him. Cowtarded is the second fan vote in the Western Conference. Definitely on another good team in Diffusion who've been really solid in that Novice League West this season. And then moving right along here to the management selection for the All-Star team. Management selection is going to go to Cosme from Acceleration at 31.7%. So congrats to Cosme, Nemesis, RL, Cowtarded, and Cosme. And then rounding out the sub spot of the Novice League West team is going to go to I Play for Slays, also from Acceleration at 36.5%. Fishy, what do you think of that West team so far right there?
It's looking like a really solid West team, and again, it looks like that Momentum Org is gonna take a majority of it, but Acceleration, both Cosme and Slays are outstanding players for that novice Western Conference, and they're both very deserving of it.
Yeah, big congratulations to them on making the team. And then why don't we hop over now to the Eastern Conference? And we'll start with the first fan vote here. Going to Rody from the Wisps here, 31.3%. Congratulations to him. And then second fan vote coming off of Ignite here is going to be Psychonautic with 27.3% of the vote. Big congrats to Psychonautic. Always love to see Psycho out here. So a huge shout out to him. And then third is going to go to the management selection is going to go to Rogue from the Kiwis here at 26.3%. And then rounding out the roster is going to go to another player from the Kiwis here, Hot Wheels at 26.3%. Bagels, what do you think about that Eastern Conference there?
I think as much as I love my boy Rodney, speaker of trees, I think the Eastern Conference has got a little bit stacked up against them this season. I mean, they got two defending champs on Acceleration, and they got Bruh Pineapple now on the other side. But we'll have to see if the East can compete with that Western team.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Fishy, what do you think about these two teams? Who's got the idea? You sticking with Bagels in the Novice West, or do you think the East has something for them?
I'll stick with Bagels on this one. Just looking at the vote percentages, the Eastern Conference was a lot tighter in their votes and didn't have not necessarily the star players, but I'd say like the West players are just so mechanically insane that they just smashed the voting. Looking at Nemesis had 45%.
Yeah, definitely looking good over there. A reminder, if you guys aren't on this, the full results will be revealed after this stream here. So pay attention to news for that so you can see how close you were. But if for some reason two of these players aren't able to make the All-Star game, the next person in the running will be able to sub up and will get the All-Star role and play in the All-Star game. So even if you're close, just pay attention to that and stick around for sure. But I think we're ready to move right along now to the Prospect League. So let's get that on the screen here for Prospect League. Second lowest league here. We saw the Melons and Ember playing earlier for the Prospect League, so this should be another intriguing one. A lot of people to watch. And let's kick it off in the West, the Western Conference here with the first fan vote. And the first fan vote for the Prospect League West is going to go to Milk from the Vipers with 42.3%. So congrats to Milk there. And then joining him in the second fan vote here is going to go to Midnight from Velocity, great media member, does a lot of great graphics as well for the media team. So big shout out to Midnight, 40.4% for fan vote number 2. And then the management selection, we have the other Milk from Velocity here, 39.4%. We got the Milk plus the Milk duo. They're back. They're running it over. They were foes before. Now they're teammates in the West. And then rounding out the reserve goes to Topatage from Velocity, 28.8. Bagels, you like that? You like the Milk Midnight?
All I'm gonna say is I'm glad that I am working, and I will not show up until at least the Challenger show match because that would be a mess to cast. But definitely congratulations to both those players, and again the Benji's momentum or coming in hot in these All-Star selections.
Yeah, Fishy, what do you think? What do you think about that? The Milk Midnight combo.
Just looking at that, even Midnight's like pretty close to Milk on its own. He could probably mess
They're
up
all
any of
M's.
those names together. Yeah, all MI even. But
We'll just have to pray for the casters.
yeah,
Someone
and
sub
all velocity too.
someone sub Tobian.
Might have to. Whoever's guessing that Prospect West, Prospect All Star game, better watch out there. But congratulations, these guys, Milk Midnight and Milk, and also Tobitage as the reserve. Goodness, I had to think about it for a second already, and I'm not even casting the game. So let's move right along now to the Prospect League Eastern Conference, and starting it off with the fan vote. Number one fan vote from the East is going to go to Smooth from Melons with over half of the vote here. Of all votes, 51.5%. Huge winner out there for fan vote number 1. And then coming in at fan vote number 2 is going to be Chillin' Beast from the Banshees with 37.6%. Congrats to Chillin'. Also, and coming in as the third starter for the Prospect League Eastern Conference All-Star team is going to go to Pygo from Origin. 19.8% of the vote, but he's the management selection, going to get on there. And then last but not least, the reserve for the All-Star game is going to go to Zabungi from Origin as well, the reserve with 34.7% of the vote. So congrats to him. Bagels, I'll bring it to you again first. What do you think about this Eastern Conference All-Star team?
I definitely think it's a solid team, but I'm actually gonna call out Chillin on the broadcast here. I'm adding 2 more A's to your assistant, to the assistant, to the assistant, to the assistant general manager, because you keep forgetting to submit your damn replays. So stop forgetting to submit your damn replays, because I'm getting penalized. Congratulations for making the All-Star game, but now you're sitting at 5 A's. That's all I have to say.
And that is a reminder. Get your replays in if you haven't submitted them already. You got until midnight. The winning team has until midnight to get those replays in. Otherwise, like Bagel said, you're going to get hurt. So make sure you get those replays in. Fishy, what do you think about this East team?
Other than Chillin maybe not being the best as a captain, I think all 4 players on that team are very solid. But just none of them, other than the 2 Origin boys, none of them from the same team. And it'll be interesting to see how they fare against Velocity and Milk.
Yeah, definitely to see. Bagels, I'll bring it back to you. Who do you got? Who do you got that? Who's got the edge in this one? Do you like the 3 Velocity members and Milk from Vipers, or you think the East is going to give them something here?
I think I'm gonna slightly favor the West, but I think in comparison to the Novice League, this is a much more even matchup between these 2 teams. I think it could go either way. Game 5.
And Fishy, what are your thoughts here?
I think I just got to give it to the West on this one. I think Velocity's been too strong all season to really bet against them, and I can't bet against them in the All-Star game either.
All right, fair enough. Fishy's sticking with the West. So is Bagels. We'll have to see. Again, this one will be the second, well, technically third match of the night, following the GM Showdown, and then the Novice League All Star game. We'll have the Prospect League All Stars. But let's keep the show rolling right here, and let's head to the Challenger League, our third highest league. Always interested to see, especially this being my home league, to see what we've got for the Challenger lineups. So let's kick it off in the Western Conference here with the first fan vote going to Kovalchuk from Motion here at 32.0%. And then second fan vote coming in here with 31.1% is going to go to KN from Dissolve, the second fan vote. Another close one there for that top fan vote in the Western Conference. Coming in at the third spot here is going to be our management selection, which is going to go to Vanity Bop from Motion, another Motion player coming on the roster here at 27.2%. And then rounding out the show here in the reserve spot is going to go to JSN from Motion as well with 29.1%. So all three of the Motion players make it on the roster, but KN also starting here. Fishy, bring it to you first. What are your thoughts on this?
Man, I get all the Motion players. They're deserving of it. They're all pretty cracked, not gonna lie, but I just want to see someone from a different org. I can't lie.
Yo, is
Momentum's
Benji
just been
stuffing
too
the
many.
ballot boxes or what? This
It
man,
might
I know
be.
this man's got snow up in Canada, but is he just shoving votes in the snow and shoving them in that ballot box or what? All the momentum players are getting in here. They are good players though.
Benji in chat says he rigged the election, so we might have a recount here. just kidding, but yeah, all three Motion players make it on. I will say though that this Challenger League West was actually pretty close. So you guys will see, it's not as close as some of the other ones, but at least for the top vote, you can see all the percentages 27 to 32%. So really close in that Western Conference. But yeah, let's move right along. Let's see who the West is going to go up against in the Eastern All Stars for the Challenger League. Kicking it off at the first fan vote with 45 votes, also known as 43.3%, is going to go to the Green Glow from Ascension. My teammate there. Big congrats to him on making the All-Star team. Second fan vote coming in at 38.5% is actually me, myself, Rockerman. Second fan vote there, able to make it on. So me and Green Glow on the All-Star team at the moment. Coming in at the management selection with only 13.5% of the vote is going to go to Flip from Flame. Definitely an interesting choice. I remember we talked about this one, but definitely well deserved here. Didn't get the recognition he wanted, but definitely deserving of an all-star spot, if you ask me. And then last but not least, rounding out the roster in the reserve spot is going to go to Case. At 32.7%, making the all-star team there. Bagels, what do you think about this roster here?
Speaking of stuff in the ballot boxes, I mean,
Whoa.
I haven't voted for you one time in 4 seasons, and somehow you find a way onto the roster every time. But that being said, I do think both these teams are pretty equal here, and I think as the East squad, y'all got a chance.
Fair enough. I will have to say I might be in the running for player of the week this week, Bagels. Kind of popped off this week. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, Fishy, what do you think about these two rosters? Who you got in this one? Anyone got the edge in this one?
You know, I just can't bet for Rockerman playing an all-star game. Have you won one, Rockerman?
I did. I won season 2, and I didn't actually play in season 3.
It was the Chicken Fever All-Star game.
I don't remember season 1. I don't remember what happened in season 1, to be honest. It's been a long time since season 1, but we did win season 2. I sat myself out of season 3, so if that makes anyone feel better, I didn't play in season 3, so.
Well, maybe if you do that again this season, I'll give it to the East. But
The East still lost last season. They still lost last season. They might have needed me actually. I think they got reverse swept or something. But anyways, Bagels. Who do you got in this one? Who's got the edge?
Honestly, I can't really give it one way or the other, but seeing as how I voted the last two for West, I'll give the East a little bit of a pity vote. I got East taking this one, but I definitely think just like the prospect one, this is a very equal matchup between all 6 of, or technically all 8 of these players.
All right, fair enough. Well, let's keep this show moving right along, and let's head over to the rival league now, where things are interesting here as well. This one wasn't as close as some of the other ones, but definitely some great contenders here. So let's kick things off with the Western Conference. And starting at number one fan vote from Hydra with 43.9% of the vote is going to go to Zerf. And coming in the second fan vote with 39.3%, that is going to be Seabiscuit. Two Hydra members. Kind of a no-brainer if you ask me. Hydra undefeated so far this season. Zerf and Biscuit making it on to the All-Star team. And then for the management selection, coming in at 29% of the vote, definitely close to making the starting lineup on himself or on his own. It's going to go to Astronistic from Lightspeed. So you got Zerf, Biscuit, and Astronistic for the starters for the West. And then coming in on the reserve slot, it's going to go to Benji from Lightspeed at 31.8%. Fishy, what are your thoughts on this Western All Stars? I gotta say they look a little scary here.
Yeah, anyone from Hydra really could be scary, and Surf and Biscuit have been there the whole season, and they're still undefeated. Never really a doubt in my mind that they would make All-Stars. Astro definitely deserving of it from Lightspeed, and I guess Benji's there because he stuffed the ballot boxes. That's all I have.
Again,
Wait,
Bagels.
Benji made it?
He made it. He's on the reserve slot. Bagels.
That's okay though. We need to see a return to form for the
The
Hut.
hut. The
And
hut.
if there's any time for the Hut to come out, it's the All-Star game. But that is a pretty cracked team. I think regardless of who gets selected for the East, even though I know who's on the East, they're gonna have their work cut out for them.
It is definitely look like a dangerous team there. But let's head over to the East. Why don't we? Starting with the first fan vote here, coming out from the Pineapples with 47.5% of the vote. It's going to go to Squirrel. Always a great contributor to the community. Much love for all the donations from Squirrel there. He's going to make it there. Really half of the vote in the East as well. So congrats to him on the first fan vote. Coming in at fan vote number 2 with 40.6% of the vote, it's going to go to Merrily from Arrival. And then rounding out the starting lineup at 35.6%, it's going to be Kaio from the Gravelords. In the sub spot, another player from the Gravelords at 28.7%, it's going to be Zap from the Gravelords there as well. So that's the lineup for the East. Bagels, what are your thoughts on the East right there? And you said they're going to have their work cut out for them. You still thinking that way?
I hate that I have to root against all my. Well, I guess I'm not rooting, but I'm just predicting. You know, like all my teams are in the East, obviously, and I'm thinking all the West teams are gonna win. So, kind of unfortunate. I do think, depending on how seriously Biscuit and Zerf take the matchup, or if Astro has the potential to mauled, East could have a shot. But I think West are going to be clipping on the East, unfortunately.
Is she?
Well, just looking at the East, I got to give a shout out to the management team for agreeing with the fan votes. I think that's the first time the past 4 leagues where the third player has gotten the management selection.
Yeah, I think you might be. Oh, actually, I think management selection novice East as well. Oh, and yeah, novice East. But yeah, no, I appreciate the shout out for that. Yeah, a lot of times. That's funny. Sorry, I'm getting words in my words in my ears that I messed up. But yes, so a lot of times for management selection, just a little bit of insight. Management usually we try to get the best lineup possible for you guys, but also sometimes a lot of times we try to look for who we think is the most deserving out of the people in there. So we always try to get someone who we feel deserves to be on the roster more so. And this time the fans are right. The fans did a good job there getting the top 3 at least, or at least we picked one that was a top 3 one there. So congrats to those guys. I also think this is going to be a little bit interesting, interesting one to look at. The West obviously looking really good, and then the East, I don't know, Bagels. A lot of teams so far. The West is looking like the team to beat, but I think actually the last couple seasons the West has always seemed like the team to beat, and I think they actually won the showdown. I guess the showdown last season. I think it was 4-1. Was it last season? The charity score.
I think it was 5-2, or not 5-2, 4-2. Excuse me, because there was 6.
Oh
There's
yeah,
5
six,
leagues
six,
in the
six. Yeah,
GM
yeah,
showdown.
4-2, 4-2. You're right. You're right.
But definitely last season, I think the West took it. I think season 1, season 2, East may have won. But I mean, either way, the West coming in strong the last few seasons, and as I think we're gonna see in this Titan All Stars, it's the East might have you know.
All right. Well, we will see. I hope C Money's ready now. You can tell me if we're not. Otherwise, we can move on to the Titan League here. Last, all right. Last but not least, he says send it. All right. Let's send it to the Titan League. Last but not least, let's figure out who's making the Titan League Western All Star team. And let's kick it off with the fan vote number 1 in the Titan League West. Actually, the top vote getter percentage wise in all the voting, it's going to go to Brandon from the Dragons with 67.3%. 2/3 of the vote went to Brandon there. So huge shout out to him, really running it up there in the Titan League West. Coming in at the second fan vote is going to go to Jeffrey from the Grandmasters, formerly on the Grandmasters, now on the Reapers, but he's still going to be playing for the West here. Also known as Four Beast there, 37.4%. Then coming in for the management selection from Venganza, it's not Fishy. Sorry, Fishy. It's going to your teammate. It's going to Smooth. I don't know if that's toxic or not, but it's going to your teammate here, 20.6%. And then Bubbly Reaper coming in the reserve here, 37.4%. Also, tiebreaker was broken by the management team. Jeffrey's starting. Fishy, what are your thoughts on your teammate making it in?
I think he definitely deserved more fan votes, first of all. I don't know how he's at 20% because he really popped off this season, but he definitely deserved it over me. That no need saying that.
All right, fair enough. Bagels, what do you think about this? There's no gravity players on the All Star team in the West, which is actually really surprising.
Yeah, definitely interesting. But I mean, when you got Brandon, Four, and Smooth on there, I definitely not a shabby roster by any means.
Yeah, 9-2 coming in today. I think they won. They're 10-2 and no All Star selections. A little bit tough there. A little bit tough there. I know Dylan would have been deserving as well. I know we had there was at least some debate for Dylan for the management selection. I will throw that out there. He's definitely a great player as well. But sometimes there's snubs. Sometimes there's snubs. That's how it goes. You can't always get the perfect All Star team every time. But Smooth definitely well deserving as well. So we'll have to see how they go. And then let's head over to the Eastern Conference, see who these players are going to be matching up against. Starting at the number 1 fan vote is our very own Cookin' Bagels, stuff in the ballot box as well. 43.3% for Cookin'
All
Bagels.
right.
All right, he says. All right, fair enough, fair enough. Coming in second fan vote from Pinnacle with 42.3% of the vote is going to go to Caden. So he's the second fan vote. And then the management selection at 16.3% of the vote, going down a little bit to find this one. We are selecting Ween from Inferno for our management selection to be the third. So Bagels, Caden, and Ween. And then coming in the reserve slot, 31.7% is going to go to Arrow, also from Inferno. Bagels, what are your thoughts on this?
As we discussed last night, I think this has the potential to be the most toxic All-Star roster of all time. But that being said, I everything goes according to plan. We might have a shot against the two day 3 RLCS players on the other side.
Maybe. We'll have to see. Fishy, what do you think about these two rosters here?
I don't know if I can really have any thoughts about it. It seems pretty expected from what I was thinking, at least for the West and the East. A lot of the top fan votes, Brandon obviously is going to make it with 2/3 of the votes there. Very well deserved from him.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sorry to just randomly change the topic here, but I've been tagged in Prospect General twice, and Chillin says his Wi-Fi is out and he can't submit the replays. So
Oh my god! All right, it's another A. It's another A.
I'm sorry, Chillin.
All right.
I just saw
First
the
of
thing.
all, there's a lot of maldage. There's a lot of maldage in the Twitch chat at the moment. I get it. I'm not the best player, but I'll have you know, I'm 100% victor in the All-Star game, so looking to continue the streak.
Undefeated.
So I feel like I'm a valuable player. Undefeated in all of Nemesis All-Star lore. But yes, as Caden's saying, he does have to play with Ween, and I'm not going to lie, the chances, it's stacked against us. It's very stacked against us. It's a toxic
Bagels.
roster.
You have to hold them down, Bagels. You have to hold them down
I
over
don't think I
there.
can hold. I don't think I can hold Caden and Weeder back.
I don't know. Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see here, but it should be. I mean, hey, if anything, it'll make the Titan League All Star game a little bit more interesting there. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for the stream. We gotta let C Money go. He's got to get to his game right now. So I appreciate C Money. I love C Money. Tell C Money you love him today, guys. Go give him some love. He's a lot of work. He does a lot of work for Nemesis. He says he doesn't care. He wants me to end the stream, so we're gonna do that. But thank you guys for watching. All-Star game starting at 5:30 p.m. Eastern with the GM Showdown. Make sure you guys are there this Saturday. Should be a lot of fun. And make sure you guys follow the channel if you haven't already. But that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. We'll be back Saturday for some more Nemesis action. So hope to see you guys there.